We all love that feeling when everything's spotless, or at least looks like it for 5 minutes before life begins. But here's the truth. A lot of the cleaning habits we think make our homes cleaner are actually wasting time. And sometimes even making things dirtier. So today I'm exposing the most common cleaning habits that don't do what you think they do and showing you the smarter ways to clean instead. Well, I'm Lee and I founded Vapor Clean back in 2012. We provide domestic and commercial specialist cleaning services as well as commercial contract cleaning services. We turn over millions of pounds a year and we employ hundreds of people right here in the southwest of the UK. And it's my job to stay ahead of the competition, keeping up with modern technology and methods to clean better. This channel is designed for two reasons. Obviously, it is for promotion, but secondly, it is to give a little bit back to you, our viewers, and help where we can. So please sit back and enjoy this how-to video, which is designed to help you clean quicker, better, and faster. Let's start with an easy one, using too much product. You've seen it, people absolutely soaking their counters, sinks, or floors, thinking more product equals more clean. All that does is create a residue. That residue actually attracts dust and grime faster. So the more you clean, the dirtier it gets. Plus, it wastes product and time because you're having to go over it again just to remove the sticky film. Or once you've finished, you walk away, you come back, and then you can feel that stickiness on the surface. What you need to do is spray your spray sparingly. Make sure the trigger is set to a mist. That way it will spray a layer over the surface. Let the cleaner work. Give it a few seconds to activate before wiping. Most products only need a mist and a few seconds to do their job. Then we can wipe away and we won't be left with that sticky residue. The second habit is to use the same cloth everywhere. If you've ever wiped the kitchen worktop, then the table, then maybe the fridge handle, you've basically just moved germs around your home. It's one of the biggest cross-contamination mistakes. The keen-eyed people out there will notice I've just used a red cloth. Now I've done that purposely. I would never normally clean my living room with a red cloth. Don't worry though, this one is clean. It's just come straight out the washing machine. The cloth might look clean, but it's covered in invisible bacteria, especially if you're using it in the kitchen or the bathroom. The fix is simple. Colour code your cloths at home. It's what we do as professional cleaners. For example, red for bathrooms, blue for kitchen, yellow for dusting, green for glass. That's a good way of working within your home. Don't quote me on that though, because there are different standards in the professional industry. For example, the BICS, which is British Institute of Cleaning Science, has its own different colour codes for different areas, which is what we work to. Not going to confuse you with those colours though. What I've just said is a good rule of thumb, but don't forget to wash your microfiber cloths at least 60 degrees. Usually they can go hotter as well, but once or twice a week if you're cleaning daily. And no fabric softener. It clogs up the fibres and it actually prevents them working how they're supposed to work. We've touched on this one already. It's ignoring contact time. That is not sufficient. This can actually be the difference between disinfecting and just, quite frankly, wasting solution. Every cleaning product has a contact time. The time it needs to sit on a surface to actually work, whether that's to actually kill bacteria or dissolve grime. Wiping instantly is like pulling food out of your oven halfway through. It won't have worked properly. And every product will have a different dwell time. Professional products usually have a stipulated dwell time on them, some as long as 15 minutes. During the pandemic of COVID-19, some of the disinfectants that people were selling actually had a contact time of 5 minutes, but they weren't being given it. So all of the fogging and disinfecting that was happening in places was completely pointless. The best way to fix this and combat this is read the label. Most need anywhere between 30 seconds and 5 minutes. Typically though, it is on the lower end of that. For daily cleans, spray and move to the next task, then come back and wipe once the cleaner's done its job. If you're cleaning inside cupboards, for example, spray one, spray the other, then come back and go from there. Feather dusters and dry dusting. Feather dusters look old school and satisfying, but they don't actually remove dust. They just move it around. That's why we've progressed to things along the lines of microfiber, because it traps the dirt and doesn't just spread it. When you're using a feather duster, you're breathing it in and it settles again in a very short period of time. The best thing to do is to actually use a damp microfiber cloth or an electrostatic duster. They trap particles instead of launching them into the air. You can also buy many long reach microfiber dusters now as well that again will trap the dust rather than just chucking it up into the air. If you're dusting skirting boards, add a few drops of fabric conditioner to the cloth. It helps repel dust longer. Now this one's a bit controversial. Washing floors too often. But unless you're running a busy household with pets and kids, you probably don't need to mop every single day. I mean, who of us actually gets the chance to mop every day anyway? Overwashing though can damage sealant or potentially even damage the surface itself, especially on wood floors when it can cause warping. The best thing to do is actually vacuum daily, or potentially even use a microfiber type dry mop to catch and trap the dirt and grit. You can mop high traffic areas weekly and use a damp, not soaking mop head. Again, microfiber flat mops are the best, not your traditional cotton mops. Too wet and they can actually leave 80% of the dirt behind. You'll save water, you'll save time, and your flooring will last longer. Now, those of you that watch our Behind the Clean series will know this one is a huge bugbear of mine. But I'm not just talking about the big, expensive, tough stuff. I'm talking about the cheap, everyday stuff as well. And that is forgetting to clean your tools. Whether it's your sponge, your mop, your vacuum, they all collect the very dirt you're trying to remove. So if you don't keep them clean, if you don't look after them, you are simply going to spread it around and they are not going to work as well as they should. It's a very simple fix. When we're talking about sponges, pop them in the microwave for 1 minute or chuck them in the dishwasher when you're washing your pots and pans. Wash mop heads and cloths weekly. As we've already said, usually a 60% degree wash in the washing machine is plenty. Make sure you're emptying and wiping out your vacuum filter. A dirty one spreads dust rather than collecting it. Invest in good quality when it comes to a vacuum as well. You want a HEPA filter. You don't just want a basic filter. You want to trap all of them nasty particles that are vacuumed up. So why not click here if you want to learn how to clean better, faster, and for less money, to check out some more of our how-to videos, or if you want to see some of the oddly satisfying service videos from us at Vapor Clean, click here to check those out and enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. Please do click that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and I hope to see you next time. If the spray bottle works. Oh, fuck off. Fuck's sake.